Hey out there in YouTube land. Y'all should just park your pickup trucks and get them kids off the four-wheelers. Tell them to bring you an ice cold one and join us right now for a little Ready, Set, Your Own fun. Cause it's First Friday and everybody's here to have a good time. I see we got a great group of good old boys in the chat tonight. I see Skeeter, Tater, Possum, Billy, Bobby, Ken, and my brother Brad from Virginia. All in the chat and ready to help us get this party started. Welcome all y'all. Hey, and welcome to our lady friend too. I know there's probably only one, but thanks for being here. It is First Friday and it's time to get started, so let me introduce your host, the man with the plan, the guy who can fly, the dude who's rarely rude, Kelly Shores. Yeah! Hey, everybody. It is Cinco de Mayo, and you know what that means. That means Dr. Pepper. Or it might mean Corona. It might mean Modelo. It might mean something, depending on where you live. But in Texas, it's Dr. Pepper. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. I hope you also had a great May the 4th be with you. And I also hope that everyone is now officially excited because the registration site for SpinUp is online. Thanks to everyone who's already bought a ticket. And if you are a member of the flight crew, I do want to let you know that the flight crew does have a discount code that I put in the community tab on YouTube. So if you were not aware of it, or you didn't see it, or you haven't gotten it yet, either look on the community tab of YouTube. It's for flight crew members only. If you're thinking about coming to SpinUp and you're not part of the flight crew and you join, you can also get that discount. But it's there. Actually, several people have already bought tickets, which is super exciting. Michael Wright already bought tickets. I saw actually a little while ago we had a little bit of a technical issue where it was giving away some free extras. So if you jump on now, you might be able to take advantage of that before I can get out there and fix it. But no, Uncle Bill's Toys already bought his ticket. I think Eat More Possum already bought his ticket, Brent. So very cool stuff. Very excited to have you guys down. I do have some good speakers. We're going to talk about all that a little bit later. But first, I do want to talk a little bit about all the exciting stuff we have coming up tonight, because I have an awesome guest. I have a guy who's actually been helping me, along with Chris and several other people, helping me put this show on for a while. And I want to introduce you all to Mark Caddell. He was at SpinUp last year. He actually helped me with SpinUp. He's going to help with SpinUp again this year. He is just a super swell guy. I've known him. It's funny. My wife, actually my ex-girlfriend from a long time ago knew him, and then my wife knew him. So there's something going on there. And then I worked with him at a software company for a while, and then we've just worked off and on for a long time. He's actually helping me with some SparkSite stuff next week. So big hand for Mark Caddell. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for stepping in. So Mark is a fairly new to the drone world. He's only been flying for about 6 months, a year now, maybe a year and a half.
Oh no, dude, 6 months, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 8.
And Mark is a creative. He is a filmmaker. He is a video producer. He's been doing all that sort of thing for a long time and has actually made quite a few music videos. He specializes in music videos for kind of acoustic country artists named Walt. So if you're an acoustic country artist and your name is Walt, he will help you with your video. So tell us a little bit about, the kind of videos you like to make and what you've been doing, Mark.
Yeah, well, the first thing is they say, get a niche, right? I think anybody named Walt is a good guy. That's just, some names are like that.
It's like Jesse. Jesse. I've never met a Jesse I didn't
So
like.
If your name's Walt and you know 3 chords, let's talk. So, yeah, we the most recent Walt in my life is Walt Stewart. Just an incredible influence on my life the last 3 years. And I call him a mentor. He didn't like that, but I call him a mentor. And he has been there for me and in so many ways. He lives out near Wimberley. So a lot of times I just go out on his land and just hang out and
Would he let us fly drones out there, you think?
Oh, yeah. I let him fly mine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
All right.
dude. It didn't take like. That's what I like about having the drone you sold me is because you can wreck it and it doesn't ruin your week.
No,
Might ruin
it's-
your day.
He
but
bought
not
my
your
old
week.
Mini too, and so
Yeah.
and it doesn't have a lot of mass, so it's one of these things that if you do crash into something, it's probably just a matter of replacing a prop. Now, you have been using it to do video shoots, specifically music videos. I've seen a couple of music videos. Tell us a little bit about how you go about incorporating that. Like I think just using a drone for the sake of using a drone is not that great, but I like the way you've kind of woven it into the story.
Yeah, I almost have to. It's kind of like remember back in the day when we had all these digital video effects at the station, and everybody was
Star
using-
wipe.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like I almost try not to do a drone shot in a way. But for me, oh my gosh, this, Kelly, being out in the field, that back in the day, you had to have two guys offload a truck full of track, full of a dolly. And
Yep.
you had to, grip,
If
gaffers.
you wanted that smooth, smooth
man.
motion of the camera.
And we did. We just couldn't always afford it. We had wheelchairs going sometimes and
Yep,
stuff.
yep. Office chairs.
So, to
somebody
me-
holding the camera real steady in an office chair.
Oh yeah, and it still looked bad. But man, when you hooked me up with that drone, it's just like another eye for me. It's just like it just opened up so much creativity. And in the video we're gonna watch, you'll see a couple of classic drone shots. But there's 2 or 3 in there that I shot because that's what I needed to get done, and it was a tool to get it done. And so there's just things I can do with that drone, even me, with very little flight time. So I've just been taking advantage of all the auto features and just getting what I can. But the number one thing, I just get it out every time I can. Like sometimes I was on a shoot not too long ago at San Marcos with a gentleman doing a dab by the river, and I'm like, man, why don't you just put your feet in the water and let's talk to the camera? And then I just put the drone out in the water.
Nice.
And just things like that. Like I couldn't stand up that tall, and
Well, and a shot like that kind of also reveals these surroundings, right? That's what I
Yeah.
think drones are really great for. Is you get in close, and you're shooting. You might see some trees in the background or a building or wherever you're standing. But as soon as you kind of pull away and you reveal, oh man, he's standing on the edge of a cliff, or he's standing next to a campfire, or she's standing in the water. I mean, that's all the kind of stuff that really makes those shots look so cinematic and makes the drone add value and not just be a star wipe, right? It's something that you're
Yes.
actually using to reveal the setting for
yeah,
people.
totally. And to me, I'm really getting into watching a lot of videos where people are using it, not even flying, like all these interesting things you can do because you got the gimbal.
Yeah.
And you've got the remote control, and you got a monitor right there. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
alone cost a lot of money back in the day to be able to just monitor what you're doing.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I was going to do a parade last week, and I was going to strap it down to one of the hoods.
Hood
Had
of
all
the
these
car?
cameras going. I had 360s, and I was going to put the drone on there so I could use the gimbal. So I love that thing, man. I take it everywhere I go.
And that is the other nice thing about the Mini. One of the reasons I've really been touting the Mini 3, Mini 2, or even the original Mini or the Mini SE this year is because it is so small. It's so light. There's really no excuse not to have it with you if you're traveling, or if you're, just, hey, I see something interesting on the side of the road. I'm in a place where I can fly legally, so I'm going to get out and do that. Now, as far as this actual music video, I'd like to play it for everybody so they can see it. Tell us a little bit about Walt and what his inspiration was, and
Yeah.
what he said to you when he approached you about doing this video.
Well, Walt, he has a certain background. He served in Vietnam, and he helps a lot of people with PTSD. He's an artist. He's a musician. Yeah, he does a whole lot of work, what we'd call the men's work, all over the world. He's led men's works all over tons of countries. So his heart is always about healing. It's always about healing. So when the war broke out a year, 2 months ago,
War in Ukraine.
yeah, war on Ukraine. It just broke his heart, and he was sitting in a jam session, and he was like, this song just came out, and he couldn't just play along with the jam session because his heart was so heavy about it. And so it started in that jam session. They started picking up, and then he took it to one of his brothers and some other songwriters and then some other singers. He asked me to come out and record vocals. You know that little 8-track I have?
Yeah.
We recorded most of the vocals on that thing.
Wow.
And so we recorded it. The power was out in the house we were doing it that night, and that thing runs on batteries. So half this song was recorded in the dark with no power.
That's
people flashlights and stuff.
That's all. That probably gave it a really cool vibe, you know, to be there.
Oh yeah,
listening to it.
Yeah.
Well, so
then he just kept going. People just the guy's given so much to the world. Everyone just kind of wants to be on board of that. So, man, guitarist in Dripping Springs and engineer Tom Steger in Michigan, you know, all these different people said, I'm going to be a part of that. So it just started coming together. And then he said, can we do a video? And I'm like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So you put this together. I want you guys to watch it first. And it's I just saw it earlier today for the first time, and it's amazing. It's a pretty moving video. You know, if you think about, I don't want to get into too much about politics and stuff right now, but if you think about what's going on in Ukraine, whoever you agree with, it's a sad situation for everybody, right? It's a sad situation, I think, not only for the Ukrainians, but for a lot of the people that have been forced into this war on both sides, and it's you know, sad that they're having to fight. And this is all about kind of acknowledging them and supporting them. And it's called We Are Watching You. Mm-hmm. And let's take a look at it.
I heard your church bells ringing on the internet. Uncle in the hills, his eyes are all wet. Newsman says you're still fighting, yet stay strong.
Family's over here, y'all over there. Everybody knows the earth's not square. You are my brothers and my sisters too. Stay strong.
We are watching you. We are watching you. We are watching you. Stay strong.
The old knee pain is back again. When I was in the service, it was fire and rain. I got you somewhere in Ukraine. Stay strong.
We are watching you. We are watching you. We are watching you. Stay strong.
Babushka walked in, prayer beads on. I fell to my knees near the end of the song. Old JC said, let them be strong.
Ringing on the internet.
Uncle's in the hills with his eyes all wet.
Newsman says you're still fighting, yet stay strong.
We are watching you. We are watching you. We are watching you. Stay strong. Papa is watching you. The children are watching you. Babushka is watching you. Stay strong.
Lions and tigers in that barrel mine.
If I was it, nearest I could fly.
Feathers in my pockets, I could be your rocket. Stay strong.
We are watching you. We are watching you. We are watching you. Stay strong. We are watching you. We are watching you. We are watching you. Stay strong.
Stay strong.
Stay strong.
Stay strong.
Wow. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. I definitely, that's my second time to see it, and I enjoyed it more the second time than I did the first. I enjoyed it a lot the first time, though.
Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah, really, really powerful message. You know, I mentioned to Mark, I've lived in Austin since '87, and I think he's lived here. How long have you lived in Austin?
87, 8, 88.
Okay, about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, Austin has always had this kind of country vibe, but, you know, it has a very old Austin vibe to me, like, you know, kind of that little bit of hippie, a little bit of country. But what amazed me, I was talking to Mark about how he shot that. Of course, obviously you saw some good drone footage in there. Tell everybody, you know, so he had to rent a Red camera with a $10,000 lens and had this big no, tell them what you shot that with.
This right here.
That whole video,
iPhone 14.
except for the drone shots, was shot with an iPhone 14.
Yeah, every bit of it.
Yeah, so what's even cooler about that is it wasn't just the iPhone natively. Well, it was native, but he was using filters, right? You had some ND filters on it.
Yeah. So the trick, which many of you probably know because you shoot a lot of stuff, the trick is to have that shutter speed double, you know, when your aperture and that relationship. So to do that in Texas during the day, you got an ND, neutral density filter. So yeah, I found this great neutral density filter that just snaps on and it goes from 1 to 5 stops. And so I used that. I was able to shoot at 24 frames and then with that ratio, and it gives that film look.
Yeah,
and,
we were talking also earlier about that closing shot and how you had a little bit of trouble at first. Tell everybody that story about how you were trying to get that shot with the drone and it wasn't working.
Well, first of all, I want to thank James Elizondo, who's my friend and a new drone pilot, for just putting up with me, man. Because I don't know, I get really into it when I'm out there working and experiencing it and stuff. And so James just he just kept up really well. But we pulled his Mavic 2 out first. It's heavier. It was windy that day. I was a little worried about the Mini 2. And plus James is a better pilot than me. And it's heavier drone. So I said, let's pull that out first. I'll have mine ready just in case. And so he did, and we had a focus issue.
Yeah,
right.
With the Mavic 2.
Yeah, on the Mavic 2. And it was, we corrected it, but we weren't able to get exactly what I was looking for, which is super up close. But yeah, we figured it out. We figured out what we need to do to get it. And then, so he got his a couple done. And I thought, I think I feel good about it. But I grabbed mine. And that was a testament to DJI right there. Like, I'm running to grab mine. I throw it in there. I put it in the dirt, fire it up. Within 5 minutes, I had 3 more shots.
The Mini 2.
The Mini 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a testament to the design of it. Because that's not me. That's just drones made easy.
Well, and what's so cool about that is that you had a backup drone, right, in case you needed it. You kept your cool under pressure, and that's kind of what sort of the whole thing with if you're flying a drone as part of a video shoot, you know. And when how many people were there? Probably 30 people.
About 30.
Yeah. So not only do you have to have everybody in the right spot and have the drone do exactly the right thing, but you got to have that fire. You had a bonfire going, and you had to
yeah.
have that fire going exactly right. You had to have, like, everything had to line up.
Sun was falling.
Yeah, yeah.
The light I wanted was only about a 25-minute light.
Golden hour.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
So.
No, it's a beautiful video.
Yeah.
And so if somebody wanted to watch it again, where would they go?
Go to waltstewart.com. I think that was on the graphic Chris put up a minute ago. But yeah, if you'll go there, you'll get to know the guy. I did some other interviews with him. He'll talk about that truck. You know, just little things. Since I had gotten to know him so well, things just fell into place for how all the things he loves, all the things he cares about. You'll see a video on the YouTube channel when you go there about his truck and why he's restoring that truck, because he's all about restoration. He always wants to give people a chance and governments a chance. He's all about restoration. So even that truck had a message underneath it.
Wow.
So
yeah, it was the first question I asked when I was watching the video. I was like, wow, where'd you get that truck? He said.
Well, he does have a truck addiction.
Yeah.
Kind of, but he's managing it, I think, aren't you, Walt?
Kind of like my sticker addiction here, right?
Yeah. Hey, what do you got to do to get a sticker around here? I mean, this is silly.
Yeah, it's true.
This is silly, man. I feel naked up here.
Yeah. No, I have a great community of people that share their stickers with me.
Yeah.
Actually, Chris, can you bring it up on the other camera? Yeah, look at that.
That's
Got
impressive.
lots of really cool drone channels represented there. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I'm kind of running out of space, but no, that video was amazing, and I like also the fact that you didn't try to overuse the drone. You know, it was nice little touches here and there. I love that shot that's right overhead, where it's looking down and you can see him playing the guitar. And then I love the shot with the girl where you see her hair kind of going, like you could tell the drone was close enough to blow a little wind on her and stuff. But
that was Chris Carroll. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to go see Chris Carroll and Adam Carroll, they're the couple in there. Just they play around town and just really talented people. But she was still nervous about that drone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Mavic 2, it's a little more intimidating.
Oh, yeah,
we had
yeah.
it really low because I wanted that intimacy.
Yeah.
You know, and so she hung with me though, and we got the shot.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So
Her voice
and James
is
did a
beautiful,
great
too.
job on that shot. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
she has a great voice.
Well, yeah, nice job on that, and definitely, you know, again, having that second drone in your bag, ready to go. Just, you know, you never know what's going to happen, and you're never going to have these 30 people together like that again.
Well, I got a question. For Chris over there.
Okay.
So, Chris, you've worked with me and Kelly both, and I claim I'm more neurotic than he is. I think you act like neuroticism means preparedness, but preparedness isn't necessarily it. Who's more neurotic, me or Kelly?
So this is the voice of Chris, and my answer is no comment.
Because I would
Well
have had
played.
I would have had
Chris.
3 drones out there if I could have, because I don't know, you know, back in the day when we were shooting film and editing cost $300 an hour and everything mattered, and if you were trying to do your own thing, one mistake would cost you. You just wouldn't make any money. And so it comes from that, just like having to make sure every adapter and every cable. So I think it comes from that back in the day.
Not the I can just run to Best Buy and get one of those,
Yeah,
or
dude.
and where you were, it's probably not even an
No,
option.
there wasn't. Even,
That's in Wimberley, huh?
Yeah, outside in Wimberley off Lone Man Mountain.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So
Well, so speaking of flying drones for gigs and stuff like that, I wanted to share with you guys our most recent. By the way, before we shift gears, if you like that video and you feel like you want to support what Walt's doing and on behalf of Ukraine, he's actually trying to raise $5 million. Isn't that right?
Yep.
So that's a lot. You can go to waltstewart.com and you would be able to make a donation there. You know, I'm not getting any of that money. Mark's not getting any of that money. Walt's not keeping that money. He's using it for trying to end the madness over on the other side of the planet for us, because, you know, we're a small globe and we all need to be able to get along. So
it's a tough deal, man. Even people in Russia, they're hurting too.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
there's so many. There were some people from the Ukraine in the video.
really.
Yeah, it was one of the most beautiful things. At the very end, we did a closing circle, and she did a prayer in Russian, and it was just amazing.
Yeah. Well, what's amazing to me is that Ukrainians and Russians speak the same language for the most
Yeah.
part. You know, it's be like invading Canada, you know,
Yeah.
which is not a bad idea. Oh, never mind. Sorry, Beauchart. Yeah. And sorry to my wife, because she's Canadian too. I'm going to hear about that one. So having that second drone is key because Chris and I just recently did a video together where we did a fly through for one of our clients. If you've been paying any attention, we've talked about this a bit. Phoenix LiDAR Systems is a client of ours, and we've had the opportunity. We actually have been creating content for their website, and we got to do a fly through of their office, and we ended up needing our spare drone, and I'll tell you why in a second. But Chris, you want to roll that video and we'll take a look at it real quick?
So good.
Hey, thank you. And thanks to Artco Drone Solutions for the $5 super chat. Absolutely glad to plug your live stream last month, and glad you're back from the Philippines. But regarding that video, what did you think?
Dude, it makes me mad. Do y'all get mad whenever you see another pilot just rock it that hard? I mean, that just makes me mad, Kelly. And I hate Chris already.
Yeah,
I don't need to hate him anymore.
Chris is an overachiever.
So good. Well, here's my thought on it, though. Like you were talking about what couldn't happen with a gimbal, a 360 or whatever. The thing that I've noticed is that, like, look how much coordination had to happen with those people. They took it seriously, because if there's a drone flying around in your office, you all of a sudden you act like it matters.
Well, and
right?
I will say
and
that
you could get hurt even. So you're actually paying attention, because that was impressive as much as the drone flying was all the coordinated action.
Nobody was really working. That was all just, they were all just kind of staged in those positions. I guess the people on the phones might have been, but they had a loud drone flying over them. But
they hit their marks. That's so impressive.
Well, thank you. What that was, so Chris was there with me, and so was a guy named Alex that I work with. We had headsets on. We had the client watching through the phone. This was the Avata, and we flew in horizon lock mode. And then, of course, speed ramped some of these sections right here. But we kind of did a walkthrough, tested where we could go. And here's the funny thing: this section right back here, where you see it going through this area, because they're a LiDAR company, they do something with GPS spoofing. So on my first test flight, thank goodness I did one, the drone would not stay in place. And I was like, what is going on? It's indoors. It's the Avata again. It's indoors. And so the GPS is not as crucial because it's flying indoors. But I had started outside. It had a GPS lock. It went inside, and then it just started going nuts, was sliding all over the place. I couldn't get it to stop. And I was going, what is going on? Fortunately, I had a guy there with me at the at Phoenix LiDAR who worked there, and he said, oh, well, we use a GPS spoofer back here to do something to calibrate our systems or something. Let me turn it off. Turns it off. Everything was fine. So, pretty lucky to have all the people there to kind of support it. And again, the people in the audience or the people in the office were into it. It was like a fun thing. We were all high-fiving at the end. It was just, that's what you need, is you need that buy-in from people. And then the second thing is you need to create a path where the drone flies through things that you couldn't do with a with a handheld gimbal, because otherwise it's kind of pointless. So there were a few little places where that happened. I wish there had been more elevation change, But if Chris could play the Paradisa video, I think a lot of people have already seen this one, but I just want to kind of talk over it. So this is a house in South Austin that we got to do a drone fly through in, and it, again, like going under this light right here, you couldn't really do that with a gimbal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'd be very hard to reach back there and around those things and over the cabinets. And then the hardest part on this, the hardest actually move for the whole thing was going up these stairs smoothly and kind of rotating as you went. And you can see right here. And again, we did this with 2 drones. We actually did this with the Avata, and we did this with the Cinehawk from Emax, which is a great little drone. The Cinehawk had a bit of a freak out, but fortunately it happened outside after it was over, and it turned out that it had the flight controller had come a little loose, and I guess it was vibrating and it caused it. But see, dropping down right here from that balcony, that's really what makes this shot interesting, is being able to go from outdoor space or indoor space to outdoor space, dropping down like that, being able to fly up into the bathroom. This was also a tough shot right here because they wanted to show this bathroom going in, rotating over the shower like that, and trying to stay close enough to it that you could see it. And then right here, this is another thing where going over the pool like that, you couldn't do that with a gimbal, really. You'd have to kind of put it out. But yeah, this was a fun one. We learned a lot, and we did have, like I said, the if you haven't seen that video about the Emax Baby Hawk or Cinehawk, check it out because you'll see it smash into the side of the house. But yeah,
What frame rate were you shooting?
60.
So how are you handling those dramatic differences in exposure and color balance?
Auto.
Wow.
Yeah. Auto exposure. Yeah, if you're going indoors and
That looked
outdoors, changing white balance and all that, you really don't have any choice but to go to auto white balance and 60 frames per second, 4K 60, and then speed ramping. Yeah, that was definitely it was interesting.
So I'm curious, did the client view it right then?
So he was actually holding my phone, watching as we flew. Like we did probably. What do you think, Chris? Six takes on that one? I think we did around 8 takes. So he was the client was holding the phone, watching, and by the time we got to the third one, I think he was bored, because he had seen it 3 times already, and I think he thought he was just like, yeah, that looks great. Very, very easygoing client with this project, and so very very easily impressed. He was happy with it on take 3. We ended up doing 8 takes, and then we did a couple where we chased, used 2 drones and chased one drone using the other, which was kind of cool because we were able to see. Yeah, it gave us the opportunity to kind of see what the behind the scenes thing. We used it for the review of that Cinehawk, but yeah, if the client can see it, that's great. Also, with the one for Phoenix LiDAR, she was holding my phone. Now, what happened on that one, and why I'm glad I had a spare, is because there's some weird thing with the Avata, and Chris actually figured this out in more detail than I know, but the bottom line is if you pair your Avata to a pair of goggles, is it the pair of goggles and the controller, or just the goggles?
I think the problem was that you registered that Avata with another set of goggles, like the serial number.
Right.
And then you were using a different set of goggles, so you only had 5 flights.
Yeah, so if you change goggles with the Avata, it gives you 5 flights unless you unregister it and re-register it, right?
Yeah, DJI calls it pairing it.
Pairing it.
Like,
So if your thing just suddenly goes black, and that's what happened, is my app went black, the screen, and I was like, what's going on? Fortunately, I had another Avata with me that was paired to those goggles. And the thing is, I don't know why you can't just use any pair of goggles with any Avata. Did they give any reason why?
Yeah, I think it's to protect against theft. So if someone steals your Avata and they bind it with their goggles, sorry, I think they call it binding. But if they just bind it via radio, they can fly it 5 times before you have to connect it, by radio to the goggles that are registered with DJI and the serial numbers all match up.
So then it'll brick if after
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna sell an Avata, you got to make sure you unpair it, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. lesson learned.
I miss a camera being on Chris.
I know we have so we actually have 2 brand new cameras that we're using tonight, and pretty happy.
Let's
with them.
ask him who can decide which camera.
Yeah, okay.
Is
one of the cameras we're using is more expensive than the other 2. Any guesses on which one that is? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, one of them is 5 times more expensive.
Yeah,
right.
One of them is 5 times more expensive.
Yeah.
The other 2 are 5 times cheaper. But
Yeah.
can you tell the difference? Interested to know. Inquiring minds want to know. So, have you, Mark? I know you've flown down on the coast a little bit. You met up with some friends and did some drone stuff down
Florida coast.
Yeah. Did you have any close calls?
Well, that's when you technically still owned it. And
Oh yeah, you borrowed it from me. That's
yeah,
right.
I borrowed it. I didn't know I was going to be funding your next drone. But yeah, so there's a high level of adrenal excitement when you're launching off a boat, never have before, with someone else's drone.
Right.
I don't know. I think I tested it out a couple of times and then boom. So no, I think out there the trick with me always is I want to get the shot. Like I just want to get the shot so bad. I can endanger the drone. I don't endanger people trying to get the shot.
Well, the funny
except
thing
me,
was
but-
you did borrow it, then you ended up buying it. So
Yeah.
And by the way, Barkley and Brad, you're both correct. It is the middle camera. The wide shot is our more expensive camera. The other 2 on the outside, they're not bad though. For like 1/5 of the price, they're really not bad. So I saw that video that Mark shot in Florida with the drone, and there's this part where he's going real low through these reeds
Yeah,
right
that's
by the
what
water.
I mean.
And I was like, dude, that's beautiful, but man, you were close to those reeds.
Dude, and I had no idea those little props would just, like, you hit one little thing, it's down.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can get out right there without an alligator biting off your leg or something, so.
But you would have done it to get that drone back,
Sure,
right?
I would have. And, but yeah, I crashed it more on the boardwalk,
Yeah.
because I wanted the shot quicker than I was qualified. So I wanted that, basically what y'all are doing. I wanted it to feel like I'm going down there.
Yeah.
It's all about the emotion. And so I end up going for shots. That's been the discipline for me, is just take a beat when you really, really want the shot. Are you ready to buy a new drone? Because that's the edge I'm living on.
Yeah. Well, it paid off on the Ukraine video, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely curious, Mark, as a 1-year drone flyer. You came and volunteered to help me with this show, Chris and I, a year ago, and then you ended up helping at SpinUp, and it's been more than a year, because I think SpinUp was coming
It's
up
been more than a year that I've been hanging out with you guys, but you only offered your drone to me
a year ago.
not even.
So do you get, as that new person, you kind of just get that thing, that joy that it brings you, right? It's just that moment of
the second the rotors go on. It's
Yeah,
there every time.
So that said, I kind of want to talk for a second about this video I put out recently. It was called "Don't Buy This Drone," and I'm holding the drone over a trash can, and there's stink lines coming out of it because it stinks and it's awful. And it's not that drone in particular. It is that drone in particular, but it's not that drone in particular, because it is actually a whole class of drones. And what happened? This is the true story. Chris was helping me. A company, I'll go ahead and say it, SEMA, that I like. I like SEMA. They have given a lot of great toy drones. SEMA sent me this drone to review. It was a $200 camera drone, and it just sucked. It just could not hold its position. The camera was like awful. Yeah, I think Chris is going to roll some video of it for us now. Are you? Is that what you're trying to do? Yeah, so this right here is a shot of the flight. This is the footage from this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a $150, $200, $250 drone, somewhere in that range. I forget what the price was. Thank God I didn't pay for it. This drone didn't even have an SD card slot. It wasn't designed to have one. So for $250, you don't get an SD card slot. It records everything to your phone. So not only does the footage look terrible, but it's super compressed. Anyway, I flew this thing for a little while. I think you'll see what happens here in a second. and really was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt because I really like the SEMA X5C. I really like SEMA toy drones, but I just could not get it to go. It just was like, look at it. It just rolled over and died on me. And ultimately, I just stopped the review and just said, don't buy this drone. It's horrible. And then that kind of got me started on this whole rant where I started talking about not buying drones. Now, here's the takeaway from all this. I realize it's kind of long-winded, but the takeaway is that these companies that try to make a drone for between, I'd say, $150 and $300. That's kind of the magic spot to stay away from. They try to make these drones that are camera drones, 4K, stabilized, that have waypoints and will follow you and have these really complicated apps with do all this stuff. They never work, and they're just absolutely worthless. They try to do 50 things and they do them all very poorly, and that's really what that video is about. So if you haven't seen that video, it's called "Don't Buy This Drone." And my point to you, Mark, is I'm so glad you started with the Mini 2. Mm-hmm. A lot of people hate on DJI. That's fine. You can hate on DJI. There are other options out there. Not a whole lot, but there are some others. But ultimately, if you buy one of these $100 to $300 drones and you give it to a kid or you give it to somebody who wants to fly for the first time, they're just going to have a bad experience, and they're going to say, what's the deal? I don't get it. I hate this, And so I encourage people to, rather than spend $300 on that, to buy a toy drone, buy a little line of sight flyer that doesn't have an app, that doesn't have a camera, that just might have some lights on it and it does little flips. Learn that, because if you learn that, you learn orientation. You learn if the drone is going away from you, left is left, right is right, forward is forward, and back is back. If it's coming towards you, guess what? Unless you're in headless mode, left is right and right is left, and forward is backwards and backwards is forward. It's all backwards because it's coming towards. It's just like a car, right? It's like stage left and house left. Yeah, you see right here, Chris is playing this little thing. That's a perfect little drone. I think that might even be a SEMA or a Potensic. Those little drones are a blast to fly, and honestly, like for $30 to $50, you can get one of those. You can have a lot of fun with it. Your kids will enjoy it. You can tease your dog with it or your cat or whatever. And then save your money and buy a DJI Mini. I mean, honestly, or a Autel Nano or an Autel. Pretty much all the Autel drones are pretty good. But don't waste your money. Don't go to Walmart. Don't go to Target. Don't go to Academy and buy a drone. It's just the worst thing you can possibly do.
No, it would be better if you went back and bought a Mattel Whirlybird from the 1970s.
Yes,
because that's what I learned on.
Those little things on the.
I rescued people.
Yeah,
little hooks and stuff.
Come in, yeah, pick it up.
But I've been wanting to fly since then.
Yeah,
and then I did exactly what you said. I bought my son like a $59 one at Target. I wrecked it. He wrecked it right away, and it just. You just quit doing it because I don't want to go wreck a nice one, but the nice ones, it's really hard to kill a DJI.
Yeah,
a Mini 2 at least. It's just hard to kill it, and you have to try.
Well, it can be done, but
I'm sure
ultimately, if you let go of the stick on one of those drones, it's just gonna park and stay right there.
It's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, again, Mini 2 SE, yes, Marcus, I totally agree. And even I think maybe I know that. Dad Random and maybe Marcus had the Atom from Potensic and Atom SE, and they had good luck with it, but I didn't have good luck with that drone either. It kept doing toilet bowling and kept kind of turning suddenly, and the image stabilization couldn't keep up. It's all about what you want to do with it. If you're just learning to fly, you want to have fun, get a toy drone, learn on that, and then buy somebody else's Mini 2.
When are we going to get one that cleans a toilet?
Why would you want to clean a toilet?
Yeah, AI is going to clean my toilet.
That's right. We need it's like a Roomba, except it goes over and it lifts up and it goes onto the toilet. No, it's pretty cool to have a little toy drone just to play with too. Chris Hope mentioned the Xeno. That was kind of my experience with the Xeno. I know there are some Xeno fans in the audience. Marcus, I'm looking at you. But ultimately, is Ron in there too? These guys, they were the Xeno buddies. Ultimately, I just really can't say enough bad things about these drones, and I won't take anymore for review. Every time I got one, you can ask Chris. Chris, can you validate this? And please, if I'm not telling the truth, tell them I'm not telling the truth. But every time I got one, I was like, maybe this one will be better.
Yep, hope springs eternal.
I was always like, maybe this SEMA will be a little better. Maybe this Potensic will be a little better. And then it just sucked, and it made me sad.
Oh, nice, Chris.
So anyway, enough about that. With all of that said, I think that there was a picture of me circulating on the internet that everybody saw, and it came from that video, and that was truly how I felt at the moment. And apparently Chris had a caption contest, and no kidding, I have not seen this. I heard about it about 30 minutes ago, and he put it out on Facebook, and the people have spoken. So this is my first time to see this caption contest. And so, Chris, how are we going to do this?
So I would just like to read each caption and have you react, I guess.
Okay.
So here we go.
All right, here we go. Reaction video.
So the first caption is from Digital Kite Aerial, and he says, "I just bought the OG Mavic 3. Dang it, DJI."
Okay.
All right, and the next one is from John
Wait,
Coopy.
oh wait. So the joke, I guess the joke on that one is that that they came out with the Pro. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But you know what? Honestly, that's actually not very good one, because I actually like the OG Mavic 3. Well, I don't necessarily like it better, but I wouldn't buy the Pro. So
Right. Okay, the next one is from John Coopy, and he says, "Another Wi-Fi based toy grade drone to review? Ugh."
that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah, that is. And then let's see, One Vision Aerial. "I forgot my SD card again."
Oh, except that one doesn't actually take an SD card.
All right, and Steve Carpenter, "I forgot my batteries."
You know what? That drone actually works better without batteries. You could just take it and throw it.
All right, and then Tater Rogers.
Tater Rogers.
"You're heading for that tree." And then
And actually, that drone works better stuck in a tree. So far, everybody's right.
yeah, Lee Beesing says, "I crashed again."
Well, that's not actually accurate.
And then MG.
He's been listening to Kai too much.
All right, this one's from Mike, and he says, "I just want to fly my drone."
I like that one.
All right, so we're going to switch gears a little bit.
All right.
And the next set of captions have to do with actually the first caption relates to something that you said in our recent drone rescue video. So I'm just going to play 10 seconds of that video real quick.
Okay. What you doing, Scott?
Trying to find my drone.
It's up there. We saw it.
I got you a Whopper if you want it. Are you gonna try jumping up there? Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me put the Whopper down. Let me put my Whopper down.
Lord.
Yeah, so apparently you like Whoppers. And with that info in mind, Jim Beauchart actually said, "What do you mean you're out of Whoppers?" And so
Nice.
I guess you had to go to a different fast food restaurant after that, because Mike Miller said, "Oh no, dang Taco Bell." And this is going to go downhill really fast, so prepare.
Yeah, I
Bob Morrow, "Constipation is a drag." And Sean Oz and David Lorenzo thought the same exact thing. "I need some X-Lax."
Nice.
And then Matt said, "Try Bran. It works for me." That's
Oh,
Matt, as
yeah.
in Matt Bump.
Yeah, actually, that's good advice.
And then Tej Giggles and Drones said, "I feel a fart coming on."
But not in the Raz.
And then Novice Quad says, "I sharded."
Oh, why couldn't that have been Jordan Beauchart who said that?
And then Kai said, "When you realize you're at that age, you can't trust a fart anymore." And Chris Wedgeworth, "Oops, I did it again."
Oh, thanks for quoting Brittany.
TJ Grady, "Second shard of the day."
Wow, so many people jumped on this. I'm quite impressed.
And then Rob said, I'm touching cotton. And then finally, Dennis Lovelady.
I don't even know what that means, but it's funny.
Dennis Lovelady says, but I don't want to take a shower.
He knows me well.
All right, and we got a few more left. This one's
All right.
from Charles Galiski, and he says, never transport live lobsters in your pants. So hold on.
Never transport live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think that's actually the face I would be making. I think it would be a more pained
more
expression.
pained.
Yeah.
All right. Captain Ray said, I guess Kelly had to fly alone.
Oh, that's so true. I hate to fly alone.
And then Thomas said, oh, Chris, what have you done this time?
Is that Thomas O'Sullivan?
Yes.
Nice.
And then finally, Ten Toes said, oh no, Ten Toes signed up for SpinUp again.
No, that's not true. 10 Toes. I can't wait to see you, Tom. Nice.
That's it.
Wow. Thank you, guys. I feel like these almost feel like birthday wishes or something,
Yeah.
even though it's not my birthday. I will tell you that my birthday is in October. So, if you guys want to bring me presents,
What date is it, Kelly?
I'm not going to tell. I actually, this is a weird thing about me. I actually, on my birthday, around my birthday, I actually, this is really, I don't even know why I'm admitting this, but around my birthday, I put my Facebook account on pause for a few days so I don't have to get all the birthday messages on Facebook. And then I put
get that.
it back on because
Yeah.
I always feel bad not responding to every single one. So anyway, weird me. Thank you, Chris, for going behind my back and making that little contest or that little fun thing that you just did.
Yeah, thanks
I guess
to everyone who contributed their
if you don't
words
want
of wisdom.
If you don't want a face like that, then don't buy a cheap drone. That's kind of the point. Don't buy a cheap camera drone. Buy a cheap drone. Buy cheap drones all day.
You're worth it is the bottom line here.
Yeah,
You're worth it.
You're worth it. Get yourself
Or just hang out with Kelly. He's always wants to get the next one.
That's right.
He'll
That's
just-
right. That's the only reason he's here. Is
He's a generous guy, though, Kelly. Everyone would say that.
yeah, Joe Blaylock. We want to see 10 Toes. I'm with you, man. Anyway, we don't literally want to see 10 Toes, but if 10 Toes is there, we will. So, so all of that said, we need to talk about SpinUp 2023. Yeah! It is happening on October 21st, but actually, welcome reception will be the night before at probably, I need to book it, but I'm pretty sure we'll do it again at the White Stone Brewery, which is right near the Cedar Park Center and the Cedar Park Rec Center where the event will be. The event will start at 10:30 and go till 5:30. Why is it starting so late, you ask? Because we actually
up.
can't get the room until that morning. So me, Mark, and probably Chris, maybe Kai, and a few other volunteers will be there bright and early.
And your team, you have a team, right?
My team, my dream team,
Yeah.
will be there bright and early to get set up, and then we'll open doors at 10 and start the event at 10:30. One other thing. Oh, and will there be giveaways? Yes, there will be giveaways. I am working on some official sponsors, but regardless of whether I get official sponsors or not, I will be giving away at least one DJI product, at least one Insta360 product, probably more because I have several that I want to give away. Definitely Emacs. Emacs is actually going to be giving away some things officially because they are going to sponsor the event. And actually, everyone will get the chance to meet Cornell from Emacs, one of my favorite people. I've gotten to know him better because he moved to Texas. He lives in Houston now, and he is going to come speak in person. My buddy Jace McCown, who is the chief test pilot and former Air Force pilot, will be speaking. He's a chief test pilot for Lift Aircraft. And there's a chance I get to fly the Lift aircraft next week. I was actually supposed to do it today, but the weather has been iffy for a while. Yeah, and hold on, we'll take a look here real quick at some of this footage of Lift. Actually, Jace in the pilot seat on this one because he is their test pilot.
Oh, that's crazy.
Isn't that thing crazy? Yeah. So
How close are we, Kelly? Or how close are we to just like getting a cab here?
well, I'm like 4 days away. So I don't know about you.
How's Jody feel about that?
She doesn't know. Shh.
Hey, is Jody going to be at SpinUp this year?
Of course.
She's the best part.
She is the best part. She's the best part of everything.
And what about live music? Any live music this year?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I want to do more stuff like we did last year, where we had some participation from members of the community, like Dennis Lovelady playing some music. Maybe Tater can make it and he can play some music.
Chris Waters.
Chris Waters is a very talented musician. Maybe play some music for us.
He's doing a hip hop version of Ready Set Drone.
I'm wondering actually if maybe Art will do like a little 5-minute drone related family friendly comedy set. A family friendly 5-minute. I have a lot of criteria. Art 5-minute family friendly drone related non-political comedy set. If you could swing that, I'd love to have you do it.
That sounds like the most boring comedy show ever.
That's true. And you can't make fun of me either. Those are the rules of this comedy show. But yeah, it's going to be amazing. The registration site is out right now, dronespinUp.com. And there is a discount code that I shared with the flight crew earlier on the community tab. So if you're getting ready to get your ticket and you're a member of the flight crew, get that code and use it because it's a pretty decent discount. Also, just FYI, I saw Ray had asked earlier about hotels. There is hotels. There are hotels. There's 3 that I listed on the website that are right in that area. I don't have any room blocks yet. I just started. I wanted to get the reg site live. I just started talking to them about room blocks. I think the best thing to do is to book soon. There is a Best Western that I think is under $100 a night. That's really close. There is a Spring Hill Suites, which I think is where most people stayed last year. And then I think Spring Hill is a Hilton property. And then I think there's also, what's the other one? The Hampton Inn. Yeah, that one is also nearby. So
hey, I just wrote a tagline for it.
For our SpinUp?
Yeah, just now.
Yeah, what is it? Was it you or ChatGPT?
Come for the barbecue, stay for the community.
Oh, I love it.
Because it really, like, that was what struck me so much. Is a lot of cool tech and all the fun, but it's like people just loving on each other. It was just really neat to see.
Yeah, we need more of that in the world these days.
Good
and
thing.
So I hope to see as many of you there as possible. And the reg site, like I said, is up. I am offering, or the prices for tickets are the lowest they will be. They will go up in July. So basically for May, if you register before July, it's just to encourage more people to register early because it's much easier to plan the event if you know how many people are coming, right? If you get a lot of people that register at the last minute, you can still do it. It's just a little harder, and therefore that's why I raised the ticket prices by $20 every 2 months. So you got lots of time. You registering?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
I registered twice because I'm neurotic. I'm more than
right.
you.
You needed a backup register.
Oh, yeah. One falls through the cracks.
Oh, Idaho Quadcopter said there are no rooms available at the Hampton Inn. Okay. Well, I'm gonna check into that. And do I see Sean from Geeks Fauna out there? Hey, Sean. Sean's actually going to be there at SpinUp as well. Very excited about that. Geeks Fauna. And I want to tell you, Sean, my wife was rocking your T-shirt that you gave me the other day, and she looked great in it. I need to take a picture of her in that shirt and send it to you because she looks a lot better in it than I do. Mark knows.
I'm not
Jody.
going to comment on how cute your wife is, but she is super cute.
So all of that said, so one more little thing that Mark was telling me about earlier, and I think it's relevant before we go into the close of the show, and that is you've got a project that you've been working on. You were telling me about earlier, and you said you wouldn't mind talking about it.
No.
What are you doing?
Well, this AI business, I just wanted to get in.
This AI business.
You know, what are you doing there? I just wanted to get in quick and hard and figure this thing out for myself. Creators like us, we're wondering, what's the world going to be like next with this? So are we going to protect ourselves? Are we going with the flow? And so I decided to write a book a couple days ago.
Yeah, and you said you got 10 chapters done in 2 hours?
Oh, yeah, 2.5 hours. I had all the storyline. I had the chapters, the plot points, the conflict, the rising action, the character studies, the character backgrounds, and 10 chapters.
This guy. And how did you do all that?
My friend, Alex Intuitive, or whatever AI stands for. I'm just kidding.
ChatGPT,
But that's why I'm going to write the book. And I asked ChatGPT, I was like, is this right? Like, should I be doing this? And it'll say, well, I can't do morality, but yeah, you should tell it that you did it with AI.
Yeah.
And so I kind of question that. But
so here's
yeah.
the thing that I think the audience will really appreciate, because you hit them in their demographic and their age group. What is the story based on? Like, what type of story? You would describe it to me. Describe it to the audience the way you described it to me.
Yeah, it's a coming of age. Stand By Me meets the Hardy Boys, meets Mark Twain, meets Jungian psychology, and all the archetypes. Meets Star Wars, basically.
Oh, you didn't mention Star Wars before.
Well, that's what Lucas did it all over, was the archetypes.
So Hardy Boys is the one that really stuck with me, because
the best.
Not really.
No.
I mean,
If you lived in Oklahoma, it was the best thing that ever happened. Okay, you lived in a city.
So no. I like the Hardy Boys. I'm not dissing on them. I'm just saying that they're books. So I read some of them as a kid, and then I actually read 10 Hardy Boys. My son got the first 10 books from my grandmother as a Christmas gift when he was younger, and I read the first 10 books. And what? Okay, I want to see in the chat. The if everybody could tell me common themes in the Hardy Boys. So I'm gonna give away the most obvious one. Caves. There was always a cave. Do you remember that? Like, no matter what, the bad guy always hung out in a cave. Anybody else got any common themes in the Hardy Boys books? If you are old enough to remember the Hardy Boys books.
My dad had some in the 30s. I have from the 30s.
From the 30s.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Do you remember the what they called a car back then? Like their friend had a car. His name was Chet. Remember what Chet's Mystery? Yes, Joe Blaylock. That's a good one. Do you remember what they called the car? What it was referred to as?
No.
A jalopy.
That's right. Do you remember their aunt's name?
Oh, that they live with.
Yeah, because in these stories, somehow they're motherless every time. Like, where are the mothers in all these amazing stories?
Only Hardy Boys I know are in wrestling, and that's wrestling, Maddie.
Gertrude.
Not Gertrude. Aunt Gertrude. Aunt Gertrude. You don't meet
Aunt B. The whole character of Aunt B and Andy Griffith was stolen from Aunt Gertrude.
You don't meet many. Eat More Possum says, I remember caves, not much else. Well, let's see. There was always jalopy, or gloppy.
What was the most used adjective in the Hardy Boys? Starts with the S. Sinister. The sinister signpost. The sinister everything.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to check out your book when it comes along.
Don't tell my sister, because she's a real author and she is gonna freaking kill me if she hears this.
Chat. Well, you know what? If it ends up being better and making more money, then you win. In your face. So, with all of that said, and now that we have sullied ourselves, they retired the name Gertrude in 1930. Now that we've sullied ourselves with all this talk about icky stuff, I think it's time for a little cleanse. Now, I know Ken Herron likes to have his cleanse in the Raz. I like to have my cleanse by watching something that is wholesome and that is entertaining and that is a little different from my everyday life. And I call that thing, as a matter of fact, if I didn't have this every month, I'd go insane like I did in that video, that rant video. I think I hadn't seen it in long enough, so it made me a little edgy. But this always calms me down. It's called 2 Minutes of Hope, and it's from Chris Hope. Let's check it out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 2 Minutes of Hope for May of 2023. It's already here. I want to take y'all to my courthouse here in my hometown of Athens, Texas, the Henderson County Courthouse. This thing's been around here a long time. Let's take a little quick stroll around the courthouse. What do you say? Come on, let's go. Do a little jaywalk and get across the street here. But this is my courthouse. Born and raised here in Athens, and this is the Henderson County Courthouse. Pretty neat old courthouse. It's even got a chimney in it. Used to have to burn, I guess, firewood back in the day to keep it warm. This thing's been around here for probably close to 100 years. Every May, about graduation, towards the end of the month, they have the old fiddlers reunion here on the square. They had a street dance and had fiddling competition, young and old. Come out here on the square on Friday or Saturday night. The square will be full of people, full of lawn chairs, and the big street dance. They shut the street down to have that. that happens here at the courthouse. This is a classical revival design. 3 floors above a basement and features a central dome and 4 3-bay entries with Tuscan columns. Ocelot Earhart, second most decorated soldier of World War II. He served with Audie Murphy. Hometown of Trinidad, Texas. About 15 minutes from here. This old barbershop right here was here when I was growing up. This is where I got my hair cut. Mr. Bob and Dean McGee were the barbers. The original to the square, I guess. I'm not sure. It's been here a long time because I'm 56 years old. Old barber pole. Been around here a long time. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that little old walk around in my courthouse here in my hometown, Athens, Texas, the Henderson County Courthouse. She's pretty. Texas has a lot of unique courthouses, and this is just another one in the mix. Anyway, we'll catch y'all next month, and I appreciate y'all so much. Kelly, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.
Look at that sun glinting off the roof of that courthouse.
That's just what's right with America right there.
Yeah.
Really.
Like a John Mellencamp song.
Yeah, he's so sincere.
Well, and I thought was it Mike Miller? Somebody said your courthouse, Chris. You spend a lot of time there. Chris did spend a lot of time there, but not because he was in trouble. He was a mystery solver. Chris Hope was actually the Athens Hardy Boys. He was the Hope Boys, and he would go out and solve mysteries, drive a jalopy,
go have dinner with Aunt Gertrude,
and hang out in a cave. Yeah, I mean, he did it all. No, big hope to. Big thanks to Chris Hope for putting those together every month.
Awesome.
I was talking to him on the phone the other day. By the way, big announcement as well. If you guys remember last year, Chris Hope actually gave away. He made a knife, and he made it in honor of Rick Halber. And Rick Halber is a member of the community. He passed away about 2 years ago now, I think, and maybe a little more. And Rick Halber was the kind of guy that would send you. He sent me when the Skydio came out. I couldn't get a hold of one of the beacons for it, and he sent me his beacon. He's like, "Hey man, just use it and send it back when you're done." And he passed away, but his memory lives on. I think a lot of people here knew him and appreciated him. Anyway, Chris Hope made this. Chris Hope makes knives. He makes beautiful knives. As a matter of fact, the only knife I used to open boxes in my house was made by Chris Hope. Oh. And he is making one for SpinUp. He's going to give it away. And if you win it and you are flying home, good luck getting it on the airplane because it's going to be big and deadly. Don't put it in your carry-on. We'll ship it to you. But thank you to Chris Hope for making that video and for always making that video. Mm-hmm. That's pretty awesome. So all of that said, we have one more little thing we want to talk about here. And that is the way we like to finish the show. It's 8:14 already, man. Where'd that hour go? Hour and 15 minutes already. I wanted to say thank you to the subscriber of the month. And the subscriber of the month is a person who does, something nice for the drone community, hangs out, is nice to be around. This subscriber of the month is a little different. He is not in the chat here tonight. He was actually supposed to be here with us tonight, but he had his family had some things going on, and he couldn't make it, so he's going to come at a later date. But it is Jace McCown, a.k.a. Digit Did It, and we've got his YouTube channel up here. Now, Jace has, first of all, the most amazing beard. Can you zoom in on that, Chris, and see? Can we see that? See that beard? Yeah, you can kind of see it down there. Jace is the chief test pilot for the company Lift Aircraft, and Jace is also an FPV pilot. This is him flying a little FPV of the Lift manned aircraft there, and he is trying to hook me up with a flight in that thing as a sort of tester, early beta tester. Now they say they've like 80% chance it's going to work fine. That's what he told me. So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
A tornado back there.
Yeah, it's some serious
I'm
weather.
already not digging this personal drone thing.
Some serious weather going on. Well, you know where that is? You know where that's sitting right now?
No,
Should I tell you?
Sky.
Secret location? That's not far from here, no.
Really?
That's a JJ Pickle Research Center.
Yeah,
it's right across from the domain.
JJ would have never thought of this.
He would have never guessed. There he was. There was.
I tell you, my first job was with his nephew,
JJ Pickle's nephew,
Bob Pickle. That was my first video job or Gary Pickle.
Gary Pickle.
Yeah, Bob Moore, Gary Pickle. Those are the two
did it have
great
to
guys.
do with pickles?
No, dude, but we shot all these senators and all these governors. We shot Ann Richards and all these people with that guy. He got me started in video in Austin. So
and you have to be real careful. You can't say shot.
You can't.
Shot Ann Richards. Shot.
You can't say it.
You got to say
it.
Yeah. No. I've said that before when I'm getting on a plane.
Motion picture photographed.
Going on a shoot. I'm gonna go shoot the president of this company.
Yeah.
All right. Don't take that out of context, folks. We're talking about filming here.
Yes.
Anyway. Yeah, that's at the JJ Pickle Center, and I'm hoping that I'll get to put that little sucker in the air next week if the weather holds
I can't
up.
wait. You want to do a live shot from it?
We're going to film it. We're going to film the heck out of it if that happens. It's either going to be, I mean, you guys have seen some of my fiery crashes before.
Dude, let me know. I'll come out and help.
Kelly's gonna fly it in acro mode.
He's going to put on auto.
Right. No, I'm going to put it in cinema mode so it goes really slow and smooth. So Ben T says he worked with Gary Pickle in the past.
Oh, lucky you, man. Isn't he an awesome dude?
Anybody with the name Pickle's got to be pretty cool.
He was so funny, too. He still is.
As a matter of fact, my friend Johnny Hutchins, we used to have this handshake called the Pickle. You want to see how it goes?
Yes.
You put your thumb. Now, you grab my thumb with your hand. No, grab my thumb.
Here?
And then you put your thumb up.
Okay.
No, put this thumb up.
Okay.
And then you go. That's called the Pickle.
That's the Pickle. Wow.
I don't know where he'd go Pickle, and we would just do that. And Johnny was actually my co-host at the UT student radio station where we hosted a show. By the way, everyone, just real quick, Mark has a podcast, and he has promised he's going to have a new episode out. It's called Little Big Voices. The first 3, is that how many you've done?
Yeah.
That are out there?
Yeah. Well, I got more in the can.
No, but people can actually listen to. There's 3. Go listen to them. You'll like them. I enjoyed them. Interviews with interesting people, and they're alive, or at least they were when he did the interviews. And
it takes me a while.
And so littlebigvoices.com, and you can check out his. Yeah, you can throw it up on the screen, Chris, if you want to. That's where you can see these interviews. And actually one of them is with James, the drone pilot from the
first one right there, football.
Yeah, he was a football player, but the other podcast that you really, if you're going to listen to one or the other, listen to mine first. It's called Dirt Nap City. We just released an episode about Mother Teresa. That's our Mother's Day special right there. It came out yesterday, actually. And we've got Nostradamus. We've got Thomas Edison. I mean, I tell people, like, did you know that Colonel Sanders was in a gunfight? You know, a lot of people don't know that. Did you know there's just so many interesting facts about these people that people don't know. So we've got that. I'd love to hear what you guys think about Dirt Nap City. I know several people listen to it. Ray Kelly is a listener of Dirt Nap City. And so with all of that said, congratulations to, go back to subscriber of the month, to Jace McCown, who's my buddy who is supposed to be here tonight but is not, but he'll find out about it. And I'm actually going to give him something really cool. I'm going to give him one of my FPV drones. So he'll be really psyched about that. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Any final words before we part?
I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank all the crew, all the singers, all the guitar
dancers,
players.
Yeah.
It just,
craft services.
And everybody that came out, it was just, it felt like a whole bunch of love was going on out there. So thanks for all of you that came out and made that thing possible. And thanks to all of you who are watching it and sharing it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks you guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. And what are the last words of wisdom about flying that I always say?
Don't fly alone.
You got a community. We'll see you at SpinUp. We'll see you next month on this show, but we'll see you at SpinUp too. Go to dronespinup.com, register now. And like I said, I think there's actually one of the things you can get on the registration site I think isn't working properly, and people are getting it for free, so you should go check it out before I fix it. All right, Chris.
Peace.
Bring us out.
When I fly, I won't fly alone. I'm gonna fly
fly with Ready Set Drone, 'cause Ready Set Drone will always fly with me. Flying fast and flying free, flying with friends is the life for me, 'cause Ready Set Drone is my community. Goggles and rotors and FPV, props and motors and ESCs, gimbals and cameras are what we used to fly. Sharing stories and swapping tales, amazing triumphs and epic fails. But will you know if you don't ever try? Ready, set, drone, ready, set, drone. Spin up your props and plug in your phone. Fly with us and we think you'll agree. Ready, set, drone, ready, set, drone. What's the point of flying it alone? Flying with friends will make you feel so free. Ready, set, drone, 'cause Ready, set, drone will always fly with me. Flying fast and flying free, flying with friends is the life for me, 'cause Ready, set, drone is my community. Ready, set, drone, ready, set, drone. Spin up your props and plug in your phone. Fly with us and we think you'll agree. Ready, set, drone, ready, set, drone. What's the point of flying alone? Flying with friends will make you feel so free. Flying with friends will make you feel so free. Flying with friends will make you feel so free.